Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War, which we've been looking at for a little bit. Actually, the last 3 videos now, including today, have all been Ultimate General Civil War, and that's because I've been giving the game a little bit of a refresher. It just came out, fully launched. It had been in early access until now, but it is now officially out, and I've been playing through a campaign that I started a while back. Now, in this video, I had intended to go back to Cold Waters and get back into the history, but I've been really busy the last couple of days and just haven't been able to get around to it. I did want to go ahead and make a video, but rather than, a lot of those Cold Waters videos take actually a lot of time sort of on the back end that you don't see, where I've got to do research, reading, things like that, kind of prepare what I think I'm going to say in roughly the order that I'm going to say it. Which a game like Ultimate General Civil War is a lot easier to not have to do that. I know a lot more about the Civil War just intrinsically than I know about Cold War submarine warfare, and this series hasn't been strictly tied to history in the way that Cold Waters has. I will still be returning to Cold Waters, if not tomorrow, then within the next couple of days, but I didn't want to go 3 days without posting something, so I thought, hey, let's go ahead and return to the Ultimate General Civil War series. Now, if you remember where we left off, we rebuilt our army after a devastating yet successful victory at the Battle of Malvern Hill, and we're now into the Second Manassas Campaign. So there's 2 minor battles and one major battle in the Second Manassas Campaign. The minor battles are Kettle Run and Thoroughfare Gap, and the major battle is Second Manassas or Second Bull Run. The first in terms of the days that the battles start, the first is Kettle Run. You can kind of get bonuses if you play Thoroughfare Gap first when you fight Kettle Run if you win it, but you can only get bonuses in Thoroughfare Gap if you play Kettle Run first. So we're going to go with that. It's also the first in terms of the dates, so it's August 27th, 1862. That's the battle we'll be looking at. Now, in this particular fight, we're going to be using the Second Corps, so we had been using the First Corps in all of our battles. We spent a whole bunch of money resting and replenishing the Corps, and we've gotten the Springfield Brigade, the Irish Brigade, the 2nd Iron Brigade. These 3 highly experienced brigades are all back to full strength. Additionally, we've got an artillery battery, so this 1st division is back to full strength. The 2nd division is a brigade short, and the 3rd division is almost back to full strength, a little bit shy on the cavalry. So the 1st Corps is being rebuilt. It's not fully built back up, but it's almost there. The 2nd Corps, meanwhile, is fully built up. 18,000 infantry, 1,200 artillery, 12 brigades, and 48 guns. But this brigade is largely rookies. You can see here as we click through these units, they're all very inexperienced. There's a couple of units that have some experience. They all fought in the last battle. Lepin's brigade, for example, is the most experienced of the brigades that we have. But all in all, this is a very green corps. So knowing that we're going to need these guys to fight well to have any chance at Second Manassas, I'm going to go ahead and fight the Battle of Kettle Run, which is a secondary battle, so we only get to bring in 1 corps onto the field of battle. I'm going to fight them with the 2nd to try and get their experience up a bit. If we win, we get a nice little, tiny little prestige boost. If we lose, we actually lose pretty heavily. We lose 10 prestige. These side battles give you a chance to build things up a bit, but I'm also hoping that it allows us to cheaply get a little bit of extra money so we can help, outfit the 1st Corps a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and go to Kettle Run, which is a battle historically I know almost nothing about. So this won't be a history discussion or anything. You can see here the rebels have bypassed our defensive lines along the Rappahannock River to strike at our supply line. Ewell's division has been spotted at Kettle Run. Lead a division to attack. I wonder if this is like similar to Cedar Mountain. Maybe this is the Battle of Cedar Mountain, and it has like a Union name as well. Lead a division to attack and dislodge the rebels from their position. The rest of your army is needed to move to Manassas Junction. So we only get a portion of our corps. We're actually going to select the 2nd Corps. Looks like we're only going to get about half of our corps on the field of battle, but it is what it is. All right, I guess we'll go ahead and just start. Ewell has deployed his division east of Kettle Run. Attack the rebels and dislodge them from their position. Well, those are pretty simple orders. Let's see here. Probably get Keppin's brigade in, given he's the one with experience. Sedgwick up here, Webb. Yes. Given we're on the attack, I'm not sure it makes sense to have any artillery. Artillery to me seems best on the defensive. We're going to pull them out. We're just going to have 7 brigades of infantry. Weapon will kind of be our reserve here. So that'll be 14,000 men. I'm hoping we've got a manpower advantage against the enemy. We've got our little supply wagon here. All right, so we'll go ahead and start the battle. And our objective is to advance on the enemy and defeat them. So we'll go ahead and just kind of advance north. Have all these guys advance just kind of across. This is all open country, so we'll see here. It's early morning. You can see it looks like it's a night out right now. And our troops have formed up into column. They're nice little blue lines marching forward. I guess we'll see. There's some high ground over here on the right, so it may make sense to make a turning movement using the high ground to shoot down on the enemy, but a lot depends on how the enemy is also, formed up. Loomis, I'd like to get him into these houses. This is some really good cover there. Webb, we'll see if we can get him into these woods. Maybe Sedgwick will go into these woods further over here to the right. Meanwhile, Henry, I think we'll send him kind of on top of these hills. Bass will also send over here. And these guys will go do this. So, weapons kind of a reserve. We'll move them over here. And we'll see how things shape out. We'll speed things up a little bit as we kind of close in. Hopefully there's no enemies deployed in these areas that we've looked at. You can see we are under artillery fire. Looks like the enemy does have some guns or something up on this high ground. Our first casualty. Men forming up into line. I don't get my guys hurt too badly by advancing them rashly, but let's move Sedgwick into these buildings. Let's see if we can kind of scout these guys out. I'm actually going to go ahead and detach some skirmishers, see if I can figure out where these guys are. Oh, there you go. We've got Early's brigade there. And Webb just picked him up, so now he's engaging. Oh god, Loomis's skirmishers are getting just thoroughly handled. Alright, so the enemy is in an interesting formation here. Skirmishers are breaking and running. Early's kind of in an exposed position. We're going to try and outflank him. Hopefully, there might be artillery up here, but maybe not. Alright. Sedgwick, are you in these buildings yet? No, get there. Alright, so now he's in very good cover. Sedgwick is. Henry is exposed. We'll have Loomis's skirmishers go away. Disband those skirmishers. Back. All right. Looks like Early's pushing these guys back a little bit. I think it helps to have Loomis firing in from the rear, because when you're in a melee, you can't shoot. But if you've got troops nearby, they can shoot at you while basically these two guys fight. Neither one of them gets to shoot while Loomis shoots over their shoulders. Probably not terribly realistic, but Early's breaking and retreating. We're allowing him to turn his back to these skirmishers so he can get a good volley in on the flank of Early. There you go. Right. These guys have some pretty big brigades, though. I will say that. Alright, so Early's running. We'll move these guys forward into these woods. Get our general into the general area. General into the general area. Alright. And hopefully we can flank these guys. I haven't seen anything north. We should be able to bring these guys down on their flank. See here, we've got kind of 3 brigades halt. Weapons gonna end up in. Hopefully Heinz can fire into this guy's flank. Alright, I'm gonna break the skirmishers off, have them deal with the threat to the flank. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and send these other guys north. Also gonna break some skirmishers off here, have them these guys. Bass is retreating. It's interesting because he's really just faced by some skirmishers. Loomis is losing pretty heavy in terms of casualties, but so far things are going okay, I think. Why is Bass retreating? What is he running from? Yikes. Artillery firing into them point blank. Try and get Sedgwick in close. Webb is kind of sitting in the open, taking some heavy casualties that I don't want him to take. Lawton is in this nice defensive position here where he can probably face off against substantially larger forces than I want him to. Alright, let's charge these skirmishers and finish them off. If we can close. Come on, we need to break Lawton. Send forward. Run. Kind of starting to crush him in. Trying to get these guys to close in a bit. Stop running. Alright, got him flanked. Alright, guys. Push him back. Matt. Good, point blank range and they're running. Whatever. Dude, you can do better than that. Okay, we're closing in on the objective. We don't have a ton of time though. We're really hoping to drive early back. You can see he's losing pretty heavy casualties. Then again, so is Sedgwick. I think one of my brigades is kind of running north here. Facing some phantom regiment that's either driven off or should be. I may have to charge here in a moment or two if we don't. Again, we're down to 18 minutes. so we just pushed them back. Come on, advance. Okay, that artillery's routing. Keep early running by hitting them with a nice volley. Maybe these skirmishers can shoot. Alright, Lawton is nearly surrounded. He's running. Oh boy, Cedric's skirmishers are dying, that's for sure. Did they not shoot yet? Fire your damn volley. There you go. Alright, so we haven't actually destroyed... It seems like most battles in this game generally destroy the opposition's army, or the majority of it. This battle, not so much, but we should be about to take this position. There you go. So we secure Kettle Run without actually destroying the enemy army and actually taking seemingly proportionate casualties. But hey, I don't really care. Take the objective, let time run out. Order forward. Keep fighting or finish the battle. So we'll finish the battle. Alright, so 14,000 infantry versus 11,000 Confederates. We lost about 2,300. The enemy lost 3,700. So about a realistic Civil War engagement, it seems like, in terms of manpower and casualties proportionate. Oh, I didn't even look to see what was captured and whatnot. Whoops. Anyway, we get the $123,000 for the victory, as well as 7,200 manpower, so more than 5,000 men more than what we lost. Plus 4 to reputation, which is always nice. One more career point, which is also nice. We're going to go ahead and... Do we want to increase Army Org? Not sure if we want Army Org or if we want... Corps. We can have 3 corps. I think division-wise we're actually okay here as we add that extra victory. Let's go ahead and add the politics piece to give us a little bit more money and gold between battles. You can see here we've got a couple, we've got some casualties we've got to replace. The nice thing is, because most of these guys are really inexperienced, we can actually replace them really cheaply. And it doesn't really cripple them. Like, you can still see they gained pretty big boost in terms of their experience overall. It does set them back a little bit, but not huge. Not in a, substantial way. So we can just give all these guys, maybe we'll give Lepin the veterans. It's only 6,000, so we'll keep him kind of as the core, as the elite unit in this second corps. And these other guys get this perk. Now that they've got experience, they can go ahead and get better discipline or better endurance. And it allows us to make this, these guys a lot better by having a commander who has some experience as well, who gets a perk as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. Assign that to all of them. And the second corps is still full strength with $100,000 to spend. So what we can do with that $100,000, we can go ahead and buy some additional artillery. Actually, cancel guys to... Why can't they be veterans? That's weird. Probably want to give them a better officer, though. So I think lieutenant colonel is what you really need. Go ahead and do that. Spend a little bit of money to make that artillery battery fully strengthed. We'll make this a 16-gun battery.
Yes, sir.
Spending a little bit of money there. 16-gun battery here. Spending a little bit of money here. And give these guys their full complement. We could go with rooks or keep these guys experienced. Honestly, the way I use cavalry, I don't really think it's a pretty big hit. We can afford the 20,000. We've still got 50 grand in the bank. We need one more brigade here in the 2nd Division. So we could move Lepin's guys back over to that corps. And there you go. You've got a fully rebuilt 1st Corps at full strength. 2nd Corps needs a new brigade. That's easy enough to do. So we'll go ahead and infantry brigade. We'll put a colonel in charge, so that'll be a little, or a lieutenant colonel, we'll say. Charge. And what weapons do we have? Got some Lorenzes we could use. Wouldn't be too expensive. About it. Springfields, they'd be much more expensive. The Lorenzes, we already have 700 of them. And we have enough that we can buy these guys out. So 26,000 gives us a full brigade of Lorenzes. There you go. We've got $28,000 left just kind of sitting, which we can use to build a third corps, because you actually need 3 corps when it comes to the Battle of Second Manassas. But we're not quite there yet. So we'll leave the 28,000, plus we don't have enough manpower realistically to do that. So we'll go ahead and leave the $28,000 in the bank, and hopefully we've got another battle like the last one in the next engagement. The next battle will be the Battle of Thoroughfare Gap. We will have a much more weakened enemy because we've won the Battle of Kettle Run, so the enemy army is 2.5% weaker. Additionally, we can see here now with winning that last battle, we've made the enemy army 2.5% weaker at Second Bull Run. If we win Thoroughfare Gap, they'll be even weaker, and then we'll have a double whammy. Addition to that, you can see here our 43 reputation means we've got 23 to spend. So we could use some of that on extra money if we really wanted it, extra manpower if we needed it, more weapons if we needed it, or artillery, or even getting John Gibbon to join our force. But that'll all wait for a follow-on battle. We will do the Battle of Thoroughfare Gap in our next video. This one's been going about 20 minutes, so it's a little bit on the short side, but on the flip side of that, I don't want to really jump into the middle of, I'm going to set that up to 12,500-ish. Actually, let's set it to 15. 15,000. I'm spending a little bit of that money that I talked about to get our supply for these cores up, because especially when you get to these multi-day battles like Second Manassas, you need that extra supply. So having 25% more supplies, I think, will be useful. So if we go back here, we can see we've got a couple of guys in reserve. We go back to the armory. We did capture some pattern Enfields. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. I could sell them and get a little bit of money, but I don't need the money right this second. I could sell some of those Harper's Ferries as well. We've got some 6-pound field guns we could sell, but again, I don't really see a need to do that. I think we have a 6-pound field gun. Let me just set this to 20 guns. I guess when you do make that battery larger, you lose some. The officer's rank is too low. You almost want like a full bird colonel in charge of a battery of that size. Even that is too small. Like, you need a general in command of a 20-gun battery? That's kind of crazy. We'll do it. 20 guns. This is the 3rd division's kind of our special division. It's mixed between 2 batteries of artillery, 1 infantry, and 1 cavalry. I almost think it'd be better to just move this artillery piece into the 2nd Corps, move an additional infantry brigade back into the 1st Corps. Then you'd have 16,000 infantry in both corps. You'd have a little bit heavier of an artillery complement just because the 1 battery's large. Well, you'd actually have one or the other would have a larger artillery complement, but we could always transfer one of those into the 3rd Corps when we build that unit. So we'll see. I'm kind of bummed out that Ulysses S. Grant died in our last battle. Or not last battle, but in the battle of, I believe it was Malvern Hill. We lost the illustrious Ulysses S. Grant. He will no longer be President of the United States. Anyway, guys, that's enough of me rambling to you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. And until next time, it's the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.